Matt Bernier with some stakes action from Laurel on Saturday. Race number 8, the $100,000 Nellie Morse Stakes, a mile and a 16th on the main track. Before I go into the field, head on over to bets.drf.com. All the details are there for new sign-up members. Great deals, great offers. Bets.drf.com is the address. Let's throw up the field. It's a short field, only 6 of them in this spot. You got a couple of heavy favorites on the morning line. I don't know that they're world beaters by any stretch. We'll talk about them more momentarily. Let's just go right through in post position order. The number 1 horse is Blue Union Rags for John Service. This is a horse that I wanted to be better than maybe she's panned out to be at this point. Clearly the connections did too. They paid $335,000 for her. She's just sort of been a middling type. She hasn't earned a buyer better than 73 in her career. The good news for a horse like Blue Union Rags, she's 2 for 3 lifetime at Laurel Park, and perhaps that's a great sort of equalizer in a spot like this. She loves this track. You know you're probably going to get her best effort here. I still don't know that her best effort is good enough to get the job done, though. Number 2 is Mazima Springs, goes out for Cathal Lynch. Most recently, off of a little bit of a layoff, a 1-turn mile. Perhaps that wasn't to this one's liking. Now you stretch out to 2 turns again. Was a winner 2 starts back at Parks, going a mile 70. That's when she was trained by Michael Matz. Over 2 at Laurel, from a speed figure standpoint, there is one race that's fast enough from a buyer perspective, but that came on a sloppy seal track at Keeneland back earlier in 2018. We'll find out. From a tactical standpoint, this one could be up against it as well, simply because the Timeform US Pace Projector doesn't think there's a heck of a lot of speed signed on in this race. You can take a look at that. You see that blue bar? They think that that's going to favor horses on or near the early lead, and if you believe that, the morning line favorite, the 6 Face It, 7-5, could be a controlling speed type. We'll talk about Face It a little bit more in depth later on, but the pace could certainly compromise the horses coming from a little bit farther off the pace. The 3 Enthrall goes out for Chuck Lawrence, 1 for 2 lifetime at Laurel, most recently nowhere at 51-1 in a stakes race, overmatched at that point. 3 starts back, ran a decent third in the Winter Melody. Problem with that race, it's come back very, very weak. Another horse that if the pace does end up being on the slow side, she is probably going to be up against it. She's got some good races, oddly enough, being by Bernardini. Most of her best races have come on turf, but at the same time, look, she's run okay on dirt. I just don't love her chances in a spot like this. The 4 Timeless Curls, I do like her chances in here because she has some versatility. I think she can be a little bit closer to the pace if need be. And also, you look at it and say she's 3 for 5 lifetime at Laurel Park, never been out of the money in 5 lifetime starts. That most recent run, I know it was going shorter, and the distance really is going to be the test for a horse like this. But she defeated 2 next out winners. They came back and earned buyers of 78 and 76. That at least puts her in the ballpark. She's sort of plateaued in the mid-70 range, but I do think that there potentially is a forward move here, and you have a positive formulator fact for her trainer, Dale Capuano. Over the past 2 years, dirt winner last out. 23 for 70, 43 times in the money with a 277 ROI. I think Timeless Curls is a major player in this spot here on Saturday afternoon. The 5 is Mo Knows. Now, oddly enough, Mo Knows, the pace projector has her in second, and last time she was relatively close to the pace was in turf races over the summer. So I don't know if you really want to use that as sort of the barometer. And if the pace is indeed that slow, then this is probably going to be a bit of an accordion, and this field's going to be about that tightly compacted. I just don't really like anything that Mo Knows has done on the main track. I think if this race was on turf, she'd arguably be the horse to beat. Based on her dirt form, I think she leaves plenty to be desired. And that brings us to the 7-5 morning line favorite, Face It. Now, Face It goes out for Kieran. She's owned by Godolphin. Each of the past 2 races have both been very visually impressive. She's gone off and won by open lengths. Broke her maiden 2 back by 10 lengths. Most recently, N1X level in New York got through by almost 3 lengths. Problem is, that run most recently, she defeated an absolutely awful field that day. 3rd place finisher came back and earned a 43 in her next start. The 4th and 5th place finishers came back and earned buyers of 26 and 51. She beat an awful field. Now, if you think it's as simple as pace makes the race, she's going to get out there. She's going to be by herself. The distance won't be an issue. 2 turns for the first time, keep in mind. Perhaps she's just going to have the trip of trips, and she's the best horse, and she's going to win. At 7-5, I wanted to at least find an alternative. It may not be a giant priced alternative, but I wanted to try to find an alternative to the short price that you're going to get on Face It here Saturday afternoon. So when it comes to the picks, I went with the 4 horse. I think there's a real scenario where Timeless Curls is the one that actually takes up the stalking position or pushes Face It for the first time. Now, perhaps both of them end up having distance problems, and perhaps someone from slightly farther off, if it comes and runs them down, whether it is Blue Union Rags or Mazima Springs. I just think that they're the 2 best horses in the race, Timeless Curls and Face It. And I prefer Timeless Curls with the 2. You got that positive formulator fact in your back pocket for Dale Capuano. I like Timeless Curls over Face It in the $100,000 Nellie Morse at Laurel on Saturday. If you're playing this race, any of the races at Laurel, any race, anywhere, DRF Bets is the way to do it. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go to find all the details, especially if you are a new sign-up member. Bets.drf.com. Schedule post time for the Nellie Morse race number 8 at Laurel on Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern. Good luck.